Her eyes were visibly red. And a mom says her daughter was unknowingly given THC gummies at school. At least 6 students at Bear Creek Middle School in Fairburn, and this is in Georgia, became ill after consuming what they thought was ordinary candy passed out by a classmate on Friday. It turned out to be cannabis-infused gummies. In a quote, "My daughter said when they were eating it, the student was laughing, saying, 'It's not real candy. It's an edible.'" Mother Angel Butts told Channel 2's Tom Reagan. Butts says a school resource officer called her on Friday afternoon to say that her daughter and other students had consumed the THC edibles. In a quote, "When she came home, she was moving really slow. Her eyes were visibly red. They were very slow. She was complaining that she felt dizzy and she felt scared. She just never experienced anything like that before, and she wouldn't have. She's only 13 and she's never done drugs before. It was very upsetting for me and for her because we had never been through anything like this before," said Butts. With the widening acceptance of marijuana use and its legalization in many states, more children are consuming high-potency cannabis-infused edibles and getting exposed to drugs at a younger age. In a quote, "As parents, if you're going to have that type of stuff, you have to make sure that it's out of reach so a child can't get it and give it to another child," says Butts. The mother sent her daughter back to school on Tuesday with a stern warning. "I told her, don't take anything from anyone else. I don't care who they are. It could have been 10 times worse than it was. Anything could be in those gummies," said Butts. The school principal sent out a message to parents on Monday assuring them that the student who passed out the cannabis gummies was being properly disciplined. He also said that consumption, possession, and distribution of such products would not be tolerated. Well. I guess I could see that possibly happening, but I'm also willing to bet that because this was in Georgia, that the kids didn't want to admit to the fact that they were knowingly taking a cannabis gummy, because Georgia, that would be highly illegal. And therefore, I'm not sure if I'm buying this story. And if I was a kid and I was in Georgia, I would have probably told my mom that I had no knowledge of it either, even if I did. What do you guys think?
This whole thing is BS too, and they're trying to say like, oh, this is like a byproduct of legalization. I would actually argue that this is actually a byproduct of it being illegal.
Well, also
And
too,
that's why, one, you don't know what was in the gummies
it's
supposedly that these kids took. Number two is you can't like trace it back to see if what the amount of THC was in it or any of the milligram dosage or anything like that. It's unregulated. It was who knows where it came from. Like, these are all things. And then the kids were scared and they didn't want to say anything, of course, because it's a demonized drug in Georgia where their people go to prison for. So like, this whole story is such BS. And then I like the way that they try to blame it on legalization and the proliferation of gummies. No, this is
hold
because
on a
you are
second
in
though.
a
The
state where you
proliferate.
still have this mentality.
Luke, this is in Georgia where they just opened up one store recently. That was a pharmacy. So these products,
Right.
99.999% is going to be either an illicit product or a Delta 8 over-the-counter product or a HHC product that was over-the-counter or THCO, something like that is what these kids took if they did take it.
Yes.
This is, I mean, this is why, even if let's say this story is valid, right? Like, why is this on the evening news? Like, so much stuff happens in schools, in middle schools, high schools, and elementary schools that does not reach the the local news station or whatever. Like, they're pumping this shit up. This is straight up reefer madness, pumping this shit up and trying to sensationalize
Yeah, because
without
this is
all the
coming out of
facts
Georgia, so
and
they're
getting
the
people scared.
prohibitionists are
Yeah,
at it right
just get
now.
people scared. Yeah, they're just getting people scared on the upcoming. You see, if we legalize, we're gonna have more and more stories like this. There's always going to be something that kids are going to get sick from, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol in school, whether they're having sex in school. Like stuff like that happens in schools all the time. That this is just the recent boogeyman, and they're trying to
But
get
Rico,
people to push
her
back
eyes were
against
red.
it. Their eyes were red.
How do you know she
Their
didn't have
eyes were watching
allergies?
God.
How do you know there wasn't
Dude,
just
this
like
is
a
This
lot
is
of
a
this is
mold or
European
pollen in
kid.
the
She was
air that
going to
day?
kill everybody.
Did they give
This
her
is
a
Georgia.
drug test to determine that it in
Does
fact was
not
THC?
does
Did it say
not
that? Did I miss
specify
that part?
that. Does
It doesn't
not
say.
specify
Woman,
that in the article at
she
all.
doesn't need no drug test. This is Georgia. Her eyes were red. She was high.
Hold on, but was her
Yep.
tongue green?
Yep.
Because
Her
if her
tongue
tongue
green.
wasn't green, according to law enforcement,
Is
it can't be weed.
this Marjorie Taylor Greene's district?
Oh God. Oh man, Jesus, Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
Is this her district? Like this is reefer madness, sensationalism, and without all of the facts here, and without this being major, like shame on the mother putting this on the local news, and shame on the local news pumping this out. Because you're hurting the state economy, you're hurting your local economy by putting out stuff like this, and it's only going to hurt you guys in the long run. And you know what? Stuff like this is going to make the kids do more of it.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I did find the line that the mother mentioned in here when she said it could have been so much worse. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like consuming a gummy?
Yeah,
your eyes. You could have slept a little bit better, man. Yeah, but in all fairness, all jokes aside, if you do not know that you're eating a cannabis gummy, it can have effects that you do freak out on mentally, and like can get super paranoid, and it can feel super real for
listen,
a while.
Kids should not use cannabis
unless prescribed by a doctor.
Period. Unless prescribed by a doctor, absolutely.
Yeah, they have a developing brain, and that brain is very, very important to develop, because otherwise you'll just be as dumb as rocks.
Yeah. I mean, I started smoking weed when I'm 12, and look how dumb I am.
See what I'm saying?
just saying.
Hey, man. Yeah, me too, man. I started
your brain has grown so much, Luke, that it pushed all your hair out of your head.
No.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it went to like my knees and ears.
Mm-hmm. See.
Whatever your IQ score is, man, it could have been 5 points better.
Damn it.
had you waited 5 more years to start.
If I had waited 5 more years, I might have been able to get that job at fucking Costco.
Balling.
Exactly.